Hi everyone, I'm Greg from the Laser Channel where we learn, create, and share, and this video is all about creating projects with this K40 CO2 laser machine. I'm going to be creating a number of different projects on different materials just so that we can check out the K40 machine in action. Once I've wrapped all of that up, I'll take you on a guided tour around this Cloudray K40 machine that I replaced or upgraded the controller board so that I can use my favorite Lightburn software. And with that, let's get started making some projects. The first material is solid 10mm pine board that's 3/8 of an inch for us using Freedom units. On this machine, the focus is set by raising the laser bed. I'll use the focusing tool to bring the work material in perfect focus. That looks great. And lastly, the work material is held securely in place with some blue painter's tape. This is going to be the method for setting the focus and securing the material for all the projects. This first project has engraving and cutting. Here's the settings for the engraving and the settings for the cutting. Total project time will be about 10 minutes. The next project is going to be one of these stainless steel tags. The back side has a dull finish and this front side has a protective wrap because this is the mirror-like finish. If I can get the plastic off. There we go. In order to get the CO2 laser to mark this, I'm going to apply 2 light coats of some CRC dry moly lube, and then that way the laser can mark this stainless steel tag. Once dry, I'll have a uniform matte finish. I'll get this set up inside of the laser machine and we'll check out the Lightburn graphic for project number 2. I picked out this nice swirl pattern. I think it's going to look great, and I do know that it is a rectangle and I am laser marking an oval, which means I am going to have a little bit of over engraving onto the laser bed. That's okay. Next, let's check out the engraving settings. Straight out of the machine, this doesn't look like too much, but maybe if I catch the light just right, we can see that there is the pattern that was transferred over. I'll get this cleaned up and see if we made any laser marks. A quick cleaning with some denatured alcohol reveals that I did mark the stainless steel. I think if I did this again, I would double the power from 40% to 80%. The next material is this clear acrylic from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to leave this top protective coating on because I'm going to reverse engrave this, and I'm going to color fill this side so that we get a nice glossy view from the back side. We'll check out the graphic that I'll be using within Lightburn software. Actually, first, before we head into Lightburn, I'm going to show you the setup for acrylic. Because I am going to be cutting this out, I do like to put standoffs underneath the work. That way, when I'm cutting through the material, I don't get any laser bounce back up on the bottom side of the acrylic. Here's my graphic. It's a coffee cup and a saucer. That will be the engraving, and in red will be the cutout. Let's check out the settings and the cut setting. I ended up running 2 passes for the engraving and the cutout. I guess I'm still getting used to the settings with the new controller card in the K40. I've got the brown acrylic paint on. This, of course, is going to be the side I just engraved, and when I flip that over, we're going to have this nice, shiny, glossy side. I'm going to wait just another minute or two for the rest of this paint to finish drying, and I'm going to do the peel off, and we'll see how this one turns out before moving on to the next project. I spent the last couple of minutes trying to peel back this protective film, and with all the fine engraving I did, all it seems to really want to do is just stick down to the acrylic. I think this Dollar Tree acrylic really wasn't meant to be used in this manner, but you know, it only cost $1.25, and I thought I'd give it a try, and you know, not every project turns out the way we expect, and I guess this is one of them. We'll get this out of the way and move on to the next material, and that is some foam core that's a 1/4 inch thick. I also got this from the Dollar Tree. We'll get this set up in the laser machine, and we'll check out the simple graphic in Lightburn software. I have some animal cutouts loaded in. These are perfect for the foam core board. Let's check out the settings. I like to run lower power with a couple of passes, and if I need to add more passes, I can always do that or increase the power. The foam core animals cut out really quickly and they turn out great. I could always do line engravings or go back and color these in. The last material I'm going to check out are these carpenter pencils. I hear engraving these go over really well with vendors at home expos. I am going to be engraving this blue one. On the carpenter pencil, I'm going to use the simple text, the laser channel. Here's my settings. I have the power level set pretty low. If I need to engrave deeper, I can always go back and add more passes. After one pass, I've got a nice engraving. I want to clean this up, but I only want it to go just through the paint. I didn't want to go down into the wood too much. And I think to clean up some of this residue, I'm going to try some LA's Totally Awesome. This works on so many different things. We'll see if it works on this carpenter's pencil. A quick rinse with that LA is totally awesome, and this cleaned up perfectly. This is exactly the look I was going for. It was pretty neat to check out all these projects being made, and speaking of checking things out, now it's time to check out the machine that I was using in today's video. It's a Cloudray K40 Co2 laser machine with, as you might have guessed, has a 40-watt laser tube. Throughout the video, we've seen the front of the machine, and it's a very nice, clean layout. And now we're gonna go kind of behind the scenes. We're gonna bring the camera back here. We're gonna check out the back side of the machine and take a look at the rest of the things that need to be set up on a machine like this to make projects like these. On the back of the machine, we can definitely tell there's a lot more going on. It might look a little overwhelming, but let's take a look at each one at a time. It's going to make a lot more sense. I'm going to just start off with the left-hand side of the machine here, and there's a universal power outlet. I've got two of them here for my US plugs, and then there's some European plugs over off to the side here. These plugs, by the way, I've never had any problems with them breaking or just not working correctly. Next, I've got the main power cable for the machine itself. The Cloudray machine has an air assist kit, and it does include this air pump, which flows about 40 liters per minute, which is actually a pretty good flow. And that's what we see in this orange cable, is the air connection going up to the laser machine. Next, I've got the exhaust fan, and while it does look a little bit odd, this does work surprisingly well. Probably most noticeable are going to be the two jugs of water that I have back here, with one of them having the top cut off, and that way I can fit the water pump that's included with the machine. The CO2 laser is of course going to be water cooled. This black wire is going to be a temperature probe. We're going to check out the display on the machine in just a minute. This other jug I have out because I use only distilled water when chilling my laser machines. And these of course are going to be the water lines. One's an outlet and one's an inlet. The inlet is coming from the pump, and the outlet or the return line is this one right here. If I can pull back enough length, and that's why I cut the top of the jug off, is because I like to put the return line up there. That way it accidentally doesn't fall out while the machine is making a project. And the last thing that we're going to look at on the outside of the machine is this power pack. This is going directly up to the controller board that I replaced on the machine. The stock controller board for this machine uses some pretty outdated software. I replaced mine with a VMS Tech controller card, so I'm now able to use Lightburn software, which brings a lot of flexibility and ease of creating projects on this machine. We saw a little bit of the inside of the machine during the projects. Let's check out the rest, starting out with the laser bed. This is going to be all cast aluminum, with this tray in the middle is removable, and that reveals this nice handy spring-loaded clamp. Right here I've got mirror number 2 assembly. We're taking a look at this one because it's a very nice bracket, and it has these 3 convenient adjustments for alignment. Over here I've got mirror alignment number 3. This is pretty much fixed because when we check out all the brackets in the area with this nice gold anodized finish, these are some of the nicest brackets that I've ever seen on a K40 machine. Everything has a nice smooth finish and everything lines up perfectly. When I first saw that the focus lens is left out in the open, I thought that was a little bit odd because it can pick up smoke and smoke residue from projects so much easier. However, after using the machine, I find that the air assist nozzle does a great job of keeping the smoke off of that lens. And because this is so accessible, it's much easier to clean, and when the lens is damaged, I can see it right away, and I know not to start any new projects until I get that lens replaced. Both sides of the Y-axis have a nice round linear rail. The X-axis has a linear rail that's a different style, and the homing switches are going to be the mechanical type. The work area also has a really nice light. Across the front are 2 fans that push air into the machine so that the smoke and smoke residue can be exhausted out the back. The fans are controlled with a switch on the control panel. And lastly, we've got the control panel. We'll start down here with the main power switch, the light switch for the work area of the machine, and the fan switch, which we just took a look at. And there's a button for turning the red guide light on and off. Here's the power output for the laser. This was set manually using the old type of software. For each different power level that you'd want, you'd have to stop the machine and enter in a new power level. With Lightburn software, I control the power levels within the software, so I keep this set at basically 100%. This LCD display that, well, the batteries are dead, so it's not on, but this would otherwise tell me the temperature just outside the main power supply for the laser tube. Just above that, this is that temperature probe that goes into the water with that water pump. We were looking at that earlier in the video. And over here, I've installed a current meter for a 40-watt laser tube. The recommended maximum milliamps is 12 milliamps, and I have that set within Lightburn software. When I ordered the controller card from VMS Tech, I also ordered this current display as well. Installing a Lightburn compatible controller card in this machine is something I should have done a long time ago. It's a lot more fun and it's a lot easier to make all these projects that we saw in today's video. And it was also pretty neat to check out all the support equipment on the back side of this K40 machine. And by the way, that type of equipment is going to be needed whether you're using the smaller K40 machine or a much larger CO2 machine. And if you saw something in this video that you'd like to check out in more detail, I'll have product links down in the video description for you, along with a video link when I installed the VMS Tech controller card. Thanks for joining me in this video. It was a lot of fun as usual, and don't forget to show this video some love by giving it a like, subscribe to the channel, or ring that notification bell. Not only is it a great way to help the laser channel grow, it's an awesome way to connect video content like this with other great viewers just like you. And until we meet again in the next video, learn, create, and share.